Salve friends, this is Aeneas, and this time I'm going to show you a battle that was fought between Carthage and the Senatus Populusque Romanus as the Polybian armies of Rome. I fought this battle against Philip V. Philip is a player of the Europa Barbarorum online community, and he plays a lot as a successor general. He especially plays as a Macedonian general. You can guess that by his name. And he chose this map, which is a desert, as can you see. And he told me he chose this map because we could imagine that Rome was invading Carthage. But as you can see, this looks more like only a desert, not as Carthage itself or the surrounding area of Carthage, because in that part of Carthage you could see the sea, and I think it was not so desertic. So I was worried about the heat, because the units get tired in desert, in heat in general, and I thought that his units were more fit to support the heat than my units. So let's fast forward this part. This battle was fought in huge settings, so each unit has the double of men. You can see this hastati that have 202, when usually in large setting they have 102. I think those extra two units are these two, the Centurion and the Aquilifer. So it's the same for the other units, they double their size. I have a line of 4 hastati, and in the back I have 3 principes, and at each flank of the principes I have the petites extraordinari, and in front of the petites extraordinari I have the hastati samnitici, which is a spear infantry. They have these nice clothes and colors in their shields. Also the extraordinary have some nice colors, but not so crazy like this hastati samnitici. These hastati samnitici look like pajamas. And at the back I have 4 units of Equites Romani of the Polybian era, 1 Qualaim Balearim or Balearic Slingers, my Roman consul Equites Consulares, and my Velites. Also at the front I have 2 units of Dorkin Sardanim or Sardinian infantry, which I use to absorb the fire from Carthage Iasotae. As you can see here, the Iasotae, which are the Celtic slingers. For Carthage they are mercenaries. Philip has 2 units of these Iasotae. Not true. He has 1 unit of Iasotae and 1 unit of Qualaim Numidium or Numidian slingers, which are not that good as the Balearic slingers, but they have more men in the unit. And in the front he has 3 units of Dorkim Libi Ponim Bedim, I hope I pronounced that correct, Libi Phoenician heavy infantry, 3 units of these highly armored guys. And at each flank he has 2 units of Dorkim Alupim or elite African infantry, which look a lot like Rome 2 Libyan infantry. At the back he has symmetrical deployment. Let's pause a bit. He has the Gaemilia Liguriae at each side, 2 units of Gaemilia Liguriae, and at the back of this Gaemilia Liguriae he has 2 units of Misteret Esraim of Phoenicitis in Militia, 2 units, and more deep into his army he has another unit of Elite African Infantry or Dorkin Alupin, so he has 3 of these units, and instead of another of those units he has this nice Dorkei Kappa Iberim or Iberian Assault Infantry. I think that in Rome too this unit corresponds to the elite nobles of the Arebaci or the Lusitani, which Carthage can use as mercenary unit. He has also this other unit of Yasotae, so he has at least 2 units of Yasotae, because there is another unit at the other side of Yasotae, so he has 3 units of Yasotae and 1 unit of Numidian slingers. These 2 units of slingers he's using as reserve, and these other 2 units he's using as main line. And at the back he has a heavy contingent of noble cavalry. He has 2 Brigentine or Gallic noble cavalry, this one, and in the middle of those 2 units he has this Iberi Lanciari or Iberian heavy cavalry, and as his general he has this Somrei Jamepaquet, I hope I pronounced that correct, and that's the Carthaginian bodyguard. So this group of cavalry is really elite, really good cavalry, and as he said, this army of Carthage is very mixed in culturally, and that's very nice, whereas the Romani are much more uniform in their cultural units, so to speak. I think almost all my units are from what we call now Italy, with the exception of these Balearic slingers and the Sardinian infantry. So let's go ahead. I decided not to waste my ammunition on the Yasotae, but instead to get into melee, or at least to try to fight in melee this Yasotae. And you see Philip is shooting at my Dorkin Shardanim, and now I am pulling back his Yasotae, and that's to provide a screen to my main army, to my infantry, especially to the Hastati, which are not so protected by the armor. They have this breastplate, but as you can see, the Principes have full pectorale protection. And Philip has changed his deployment. As you can see, he moved his 3 units of elite African infantry at the center, and at his left flank he moved his Dorkim Libi Bedim or Libi Phoenician heavy infantry, which was originally placed at the center of his army. And maybe he thought that these 3 units will destroy my Hastati, but I was aware and I put my Hastati in defensive mode, so you will see that these 4 units will hold very well against this elite African infantry. Also, this elite African infantry have around 40 men less as the Hastati, and that could be an important factor for the melee fight, or for how the melee fight unfolds. As you can see, Philip now was a little bit well, I think that he was hasty into using his Gemilla Liguriae, because I was shooting with my Sardinian infantry to his Gaisachte, which have lose already 3 men, because this unit, which I didn't review at the beginning of the battle when we saw the deployment, is a very good melee unit and has also fear ability. So I was shooting with my Sardinian infantry, and I will start also shoot with my Valeric slingers to the Gaisachte. And as you can see, Philip has engaged my main line of Hastati, and this will be a long battle. But as you can see, the Roman infantry is disciplined and is well organized, strong Roman discipline. And the battle on the left side is offensive for me. I am using my Petites Extraordinari and my Hastati Samnitiki to fight this Gemilla Liguriae, and I think this is the Foeni citizen militia, which are not good melee units. But at some point Philip will pull out one of these units and attack my cavalry. I also think that at this side I made a mistake, but because you can see here that I have 4 units of infantry and Philip has 3 units of infantry, so instead of deploying a little bit longer and flanking, I stood there compact and not taking this advantage from my right flank. I also moved this unit to avoid being flanked, and I kept this unit of Principes as reserve, and also my Velites, that all the time I was clicking attack order onto these Gaisachte with their javelins, but they didn't respond. They just stood there with their jabs as if they were sculptors. So I had to move them closer so they could shoot these Gaisachte. So the battle is very static now. It's just main lines of infantry fighting each other. But at this side, we could say that I am doing a better job. Although Philip has his assault infantry trying to flank me, I have moved my Principes, but these Principes will start to do something weird, and instead of facing the assault infantry of Philip, they will go back and fight this spearmen. So you can see now that Philip has pulled out this Foeni citizen militia, and this was not pulled out, he just moved from the other flank to this flank. And I don't really like players pulling out their infantry, because that is totally a failure of Rome engine, because these pulling out units should die while they are pulling out. So for example, in Age of Charlemagne, the expansion for Attila Total War, you cannot pull out any unit without taking heavy losses. And as you can see, that will help Philip to gain his right flank, and after he gains his right flank, I will concede defeat. Also, these Gaisachte are very damaged by the arrows and by the Velites, and as you can see, these Hastati are doing a nice job using this defensive formation against this elite African infantry, and you could say that the Hastati are winning, at least this unit. And I also push it with my Principes to try to break this elite African infantry, but this elite African infantry has much more men than these other ones, so I think that this was a mistake from my part. I had to move my Principes to my left flank, because I will lose this left flank. This left flank is my weak point, and when Philip kills all my Equites Romani, battle is really over. So you can see that my Principes are like fighting left and right, but I think that this unit of Iberian assault infantry will kill any unit of Principes clean fight, so to speak, without any other units surrounding. And this was my mistake, as I already told you. Instead of taking advantage of my superior numbers, I let myself being flanked, so that was really dumb from my part. And I was using my Qualain Balearim to kill his just Geisachte, which you can see now these Geisachte have only 57 men, 55, 56, and they just started to fight, so these Pedites will kill these Geisachte, but with the pressure of the assault infantry, this side is more balanced for both armies. And you can see that Philip is helping his cap with this spearmen, this Fueni citizen militia, so my cap is in a real disadvantage on this part of the battlefield, and I was very aware that I was going to lose this flank. And as I saw that in no other part I had an important advantage, I conceded defeat. So it's what is going to happen in some seconds. Also, Philip has depleted his stones from these slingers, whereas I have still ammunition, and I am trying to kill his cavalry, but this cavalry is very well protected with armor. You can see the Brigantin with his Lorica Hamata, I think it is Lorica Hamata, and his helmets, and also his Carthaginian bodyguard has very good armor. His breastplate, I think it is made of well, I thought it was bronze, but this looks more like silver, or it is not silver, of course, but I just forgot the name of that metal. And I think that Philip was aware that he was losing this fight with this elite African infantry. You can see 59 men, and my Hastati have 90, so this is a good lesson for EV players. Sometimes an underdog can do a great fight versus a better unit. So I decided to charge to finish the job, but at this point the battle was very decided in favor of Carthage. He's already surrounding my Petites Extraordinari. My Petites Extraordinari have routed, and that's, I think, because he started to push with his Yasotai, which don't kill much, but push with their mass the other units, and also his assault infantry destroyed my Principes. So at this point is over. The battle is a battle that Carthage has won. Philip has done a great job in his right flank, and I have done a really bad job countering his cavalry contingent. So I hope that in next battles I will be able to protect my army better from Philip's cavalry contingent. And as you can see, the kills are double for Carthage. I also had more men, but not double men, not the double quantity of men. So he performed much better than I did. And you can see here the singular results for each unit. The Hastati Samnitiki got a good amount of kills, 132. I think that this unit was fighting on the left side and was killing the Gaemiliae and the Fueni citizen militia, and also this Hastati Samnitiki got good kills. These two units are the two units that have more kills on my infantry regiment, so it's kind of unexpected, and I should look at why these two units have more kills. But I think these two units were facing the Gaemiliae and the Fueni citizen militia, and you can see that the Hastati had not much kills, but they were facing elite African infantry. The Equites Romani were underplayed by me. They got destroyed. A lot of casualties and almost no casualties inflicted. Principes also got destroyed, more casualties than kills, but not so bad as the Equites Romani. The Velites were a disaster. I didn't use the Velites, and the Petites Extraordinari did better because they have more kills than casualties. And I think this is the only unit of Petites Extraordinari. No, I have another unit. This other unit was I think destroyed by the assault infantry at some point. So it has 107 casualties. So I hope you enjoyed this battle, and see you next time.